In this video, I'm going to be making Sachertorte from Plachutta, which is a book I was recommended after I visited Austria for Christmas markets one year. I was in Salzburg. Plachutta is Viennese cuisine, which is Eastern Austria, Vienna being the capital, over by Slovakia. But a lot of it's not a gigantic country. A lot of the cuisine kind of stretches all over the entire country. But Sachertorte is really something I was interested in trying because it's a layered cake, a layered chocolate cake. The cake itself is just, man, it's almost like a cakier version of a brownie. It's very rich and very good. It's got apricot glaze as the filling in between the layers. And then you cover it in this sort of mirror chocolate glaze before you cut it by tempering a high quality chocolate called couverture chocolate. And that's a little bit difficult to find. I had to go to a baking supply store in Orlando to find it. But really, if you use any chocolate that's made with cocoa butter, specifically, not vegetable oil, Ghirardelli chocolate morsels are made with cocoa butter. Couverture chocolate has a higher percentage of cocoa butter, but it requires chocolate that can be tempered in order to get that glossy finish on it. So, we're going to go ahead and hop into the kitchen. To get started, we've got a double boiler going here, nice and hot and steamy, and this is going to melt 180 grams of couverture chocolate. Now, just to give a brief explanation here, couverture chocolate is not super easy to find, but not all chocolate is created equal for recipes like this. Couverture chocolate is made with cocoa butter. I have found in American supermarkets, Ghirardelli chocolate morsels are made with cocoa butter as well. This type of chocolate also has a higher percentage of cocoa butter, so if you can find it, I would recommend using it, particularly for the glaze at the end of this recipe, not so much for this part. This part is going into the actual cake batter itself. In this case, semi-sweet or baker's chocolate or any other kind of chocolate is probably fine. I'm just trying to follow the recipe as authentically as possible. Now, in a large bowl, we're going to put in a tablespoon of vanilla sugar. This is 80 grams of icing or confectioner sugar, and 180 grams of softened butter. And lastly, we'll put in our melted chocolate. Now we're just going to blend all of these ingredients until they get incorporated together. Now I've taken 8 eggs and separated them into whites and yolks. Yes, that's 8 eggs. This is a very egg-heavy recipe. I'm making this on March 1st, 2025, so I'm pretty sure this cake is probably worth more than my 401k after I put these eggs in. But just one at a time, we're going to go ahead and mix those in. And once each yolk gets incorporated, go ahead and add another one. Now, in a separate clean bowl, we're going to put in the 8 egg whites, as well as 150 grams of just regular sugar. And we're going to whip this until it gets nice and foamy. All right. Now, you want to get your egg whites beaten with a lot of air into them, because the air in this egg white mixture, almost like marshmallow cream, is what's going to give your cake sort of a lighter texture and get those air bubbles in there. So you want to take about a third of the mixture and get it in there, and we're just going to fold that in with the chocolate. We've also got 180 grams of flour, and we're just going to alternate adding the rest of the flour with the egg white mixture until we've got everything incorporated into a smooth batter. If you've done all the steps right, you should end up with this nice, fluffy, airy cake batter here. So I've prepared a 9-inch cake pan with a liner and grease the sides, and we're just going to go ahead and fill this up. And then we're going to bake this in the oven for 55 minutes at 320 degrees Fahrenheit or 170 degrees Celsius. The cake has cooled, and now I'm going to cut the dome off so we end up with a flat top here. And we're also just going to cut it in half lengthwise like this so that we have 2 cake layers. Now we've got our first cake layer here, and we're just going to spread apricot jam all over the middle. And then we'll go ahead and put our top cake layer on top of that. All right, all done filling it up. So we're going to go ahead and put our little next layer on top of that. All right, and now we need to make an apricot glaze. All right, now we're gonna make a apricot glaze to go on this cake too, which is gonna set the stage for the final couverture chocolate glaze. So take 125 grams of apricot jam and put it on the stove here, and at medium-high temperature, just slowly melt it, and then we're gonna run it through a sieve to make the glaze. All right, now we're just gonna go ahead and pass this through a sieve here to get any solid bits out and just be left with a sticky, sugary residue afterwards. You can see there what we're going for. Now we're going to get a pastry brush and we're just going to baste the top and the sides of this cake with the apricot jam. Now we're going to make our chocolate glaze for the Sachertorte. So we've got 300 grams of just plain white sugar and 125 milliliters of water, and we're going to bring this to a boil on the stove. Now we're going to add 250 grams of couverture chocolate to this mixture and get it melted. And now you're going to need to use a thermometer and get this to 109 degrees Celsius. Now we have to work kind of quickly here. We're going to temper this chocolate sauce. So we're going to just take some of it and we're going to put it on a flat, clean work surface. And we're just going to work it out. And this process is going to help give a nice sheen to this chocolate. And also make sure you stir this from time to time so that it doesn't develop a skin on it. And then after you've stirred this out, look how smooth that's getting already. After you stir this out, then we're going to go ahead and return it to the rest of the chocolate. And we're just going to repeat this process until we get a nice, smooth chocolate sauce. This part might be a little messy, so just be prepared to clean up. But we've got our tempered chocolate. And now we're just going to pour that over the cake so that a nice, beautiful black shell forms over the entire cake. And it may dribble over the sides and make a little bit of a mess. So just be prepared for that. That's why I said it might be a little bit messy, but yeah, there we go. It is going to make a beautiful chocolate coating that's nice and smooth over the whole cake. The torte glaze has set, and now we're ready to cut a piece to see how this all came out on the inside. Oh man, that is very dense. I think this is going to come out just perfect, guys. Let's see if I can get under there. Look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. Honestly, it came out just like the picture of the cake in the cookbook. It's so elegant and it seems so simple, but it's actually got a lot of technique to it. And look at those just perfect layers. Look at that chocolate. If you like chocolate, if you know someone who likes chocolate, there is not a more just elegant but also rich and delicious chocolate cake than a Sachertorte. So highly recommend that you make it. Try out Austrian cuisine in general. I don't have a lot of other Austrian recipes at the moment, but I plan on making more. So if you enjoy my videos though, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one.